uachane na dhambi ya kuokoe. Uachane na dhambi ya kuokoe. Newega sudu tinditi didi tinditi didi tinditi didi du.
Bwana mama
tinditi didi tinditi didi tinditi didi du.
hata nyinyi
tinditi didi tinditi didi tinditi didi du. Sudu rambaka 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 ta.
hata waganga
Bwana Yesu awaita awaokoe na uganga. Alikufa kwa sababu ya dhambi zenu. Alikufa kwa sababu ya dhambi zenu. Sudu tinditi didi tinditi didi tinditi didi du. Tinditi didi tinditi didi tinditi didi du.
wacheni tuteshe sheria za Mungu Baba,
Wacheni
kwa sababu
hizo za tuongoza.
sizivunje sheria za Mungu Baba,
Sheria
kwa sababu
hizo
za
tuongoza. Kwa sababu hizo ndizo za tuongoza. Kwa sababu hizo ndizo za tuongoza. Kwa sababu hizo ndizo za tuongoza.
Bwana Yesu ndiye mtu,
Bwana Yesu ndiye mchungaji.
sitapungukiwa na kitu,
Sitapungukiwa na kitu.
unilaza katika majani,
Unilaza katika majani
unilaza katika majani,
unilaza katika majani mabichi. Newega sudu rambaka 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 ta.
tunamwimbia Mungu wetu, tunachezea Mungu wetu, tunamwimbia Mungu wetu, tunachezea Mungu wetu, Mungu wetu,
Mungu wetu, Mungu Baba,
tunaimba
ndiye mfalme. Cheza, cheza, oh, cheza, cheza.
ruka,
Ruka, ruka,
pia Bwana Yesu,
ruka, ruka.
cheza,
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 oh,
cheza,
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 cheza.
tumekuja
Tinditi, didi, tinditi, didi, tinditi, didi, du.
ni mwaka mpya,
Tinditi, didi, du.
Nimeweka
Sudu rambaka 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 ta. in the morning, Lord.
I'm getting
I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. Are you ready, my brother? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Want to see your Jesus? Oh, yes. I'm waiting for the chariot because I'm ready to go. Are you ready, my sister? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Want to see your Jesus? Oh, yes. I'm waiting for the chariot because I'm ready to go. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. Riding the chariot to see my Lord.
I'm gonna ride
Ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. Ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride in the chariot to see my Lord, to see my Lord. And all the pretty glory stars of light that show the music notes in every bush, that show the music notes in every bush. And all the pretty glory stars of light that show the music notes in every bush, that show the music notes in every bush. Let them no more content who shall excel. The cuckoo is the bird, the cuckoo is the bird, is the bird, is the bird, is the bell. Let them no more content who shall excel. The cuckoo is the bird, the cuckoo is the bird, the cuckoo is the bird, is the bell, the bell.
Wow, you guys, we've heard the absolutely angelic voices of the Damacrest High School Choir. Absolutely amazing. So now we're going to take a look and see a little bit about the background of the school. And I'm going to let this young gentleman over here introduce himself. So please tell us who you are and exactly what it is that you do at Damacrest.
Thank you. I'm Anthony Dero, and I'm the principal Damacrest Senior School. I also happen to be the choir master at Damacrest Senior School.
All right, can you give us a little bit of a history of the choir, when it began and why?
In Damacrest, choir is as old as the conception of the school. We began choir immediately the school started. And I believe in choir, and that's why it had to start with the beginning of the school. Actually, as fresh as the school was, the choir had to begin because I'm one person who has gone through music in my life, and I know the value of music in a learner's life. Yes.
All right, so I'm sure that the choir is built on certain values, like most choirs are. So can you please take us through what those are?
Number one is the word goes choir, nothing solo about it. So there must be cooperation. So there must be teamwork. And teamwork is something that we need in our life, not only in academic life, but even later in life, you know that together we are stronger. And it has built in my students the spirit of teamwork. And I can say that choir is responsible for the good performance we're experiencing in our school because they collaborate and do many things as a team. And that team spirit was achieved in choir. If you realize in the team that we just had, there was a group singing soprano, there was a group singing alto, a group singing tenor, a group singing bass, not an individual singing the voice mentioned. So they must learn how to work together, to synchronize their voice, to produce the harmony. So there must be some spirit of teamwork. Number two, discipline. Maybe if you happen to have interviewed any, they'll tell you that there's so much discipline required during singing because learning a new song is never a cup of tea. And that requires you first to be very punctual, to rehearse up to very late hours, and they have to persevere and go through all that. So discipline is another very, very important virtue that we also obtained from choir.
All right, and do the students have a choice or is it something compulsory for them to join the choir?
I happen to make it compulsory at the beginning for anybody who is joining a Damacrest. Because of those values, just to mention but a few, there are many, many, many values. Time consciousness, teamwork, discipline, self-confidence. You know, for a child to stand before people and express themselves, it requires some level of self-confidence. And I've seen, I've admitted students probably who didn't have the ability to speak before people. And due to singing, now they can easily express themselves, as you shall see in other items, whereby now they're individuals doing it. So I make it compulsory for all of us that we can achieve that common goal, that holistic requirement of a human being, to be able to express yourself before people, to be able to communicate without fear. Yeah, so that's why I make it compulsory. Actually, anybody joining Damacrest, first of all, you have to go through singing. Later on, you could get into other things, but at least you get the basic, those basic values that a normal human being live to exist properly in this world. Yes.
All right, and is there any kind of criteria when you are picking out the students to join the choir? Because not everybody can sing, you know, we got to be honest. Not everyone can sing. So what do you do when it comes to a situation where you have someone who wants to join the choir, but they don't really have the voice? Because I've heard some really amazing voices on here today. So what is that like?
Okay, under normal circumstances, we will always audition and then pick the best. But now that in my situation now, you come in the first place, you join his choir. And then, as I said earlier, later on, you might not really fit into the category or into the group that is required to present, maybe for festival purposes. But you see now you've achieved those values that you're supposed to have achieved. The only thing you might now miss is going to the festivals. So later on we might now start eliminating for those who are not fit to perform maybe for festival purposes. Yeah.
All right, and let me ask you this question. When it comes to your performances, do you do performances outside of school or are you just, you know, constricted to the school alone?
I say we are singing school and we sing everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know who still doesn't know about our music prowess, but I think now we'll have an opportunity to be properly known.
Definitely.
At the festival levels, we are very, very active members, and we do very competitive pieces. And over the last 2 years, we've been doing extremely well. But even within our own environment in school, we do sing. The way we did our national anthem here, that's exactly how we do it even in our school, the two anthems. So singing is in us, both in school, outside school, we do sing. Yes.
All right, could you take us through some of the songs that were just performed, some of the songs and the message behind them, and why you chose for the students to perform those songs?
Our first two songs were anthems. We had the Kenya national anthem and the East African anthem. Why I decided to do them in harmony. In harmony means in the four different parts of the voices, is because you feel that patriotism flows in you when you do these songs in the harmony required, as opposed to someone who chooses to do it the kawaida way. I found it not really, but when you do it in more harmonized voices, we are still that spirit of patriotism, and that's why we are, and now because Kenya is being integrated with properly in the East African community. We also decided to incorporate the East African anthem in our school. It is part of our assemblies, and I think that's a requirement right now in our country. It's a practice that's supposed to be all over the schools. The second song was Sudu. Sudu is an arrangement of a popular gospel song. Yeah,
I think everybody knows it.
That we just decided to work on it a little bit and put it into some voices. And we do music for edutainment, where we educate as we entertain. So we love it that way. So that one is just for our own entertainment, and it's a popularly known song. Our fourth song, that was Vamuvamba. Vamuvamba is this is a Tiriki melody, adapted and arranged by Boniface Maganga. And it's also popularly done in churches. And we're just celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ as we go through the process of suffering of Jesus Christ. It's basically a sacred song. Yes. And then lastly, you are riding the chariot. The message was so self-explained. And we are just also celebrating our Lord. We also praying. We happen to be a Christian school. And we realize that most of our songs also happen to be gospel songs. So Ride the Chariot mainly is emphasizing on the importance of salvation. Yeah, probably the end of it, we are going to see our Lord. Yes.
All right, well, that was a very, very, very entertaining performance from the choir. I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I cannot wait to see where you're going to take this in the future.
Thank you so much also for having us.
No
we
problem.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you.